What was he on about? My body, mister, come figure it out with the Sonnet Sisters.
Neighbours, Godspeed. Welcome to Sonnet Sisters. My name is Anna and today I'm going to be doing a blind reading of Sonnet number 7. In case you're wondering what this awesome t-shirt I'm wearing is, it is for the podcast I do, which is called The Podvangelist, which is pretty fun. If you like my thoughts here, you might like my thoughts there, so go and check it out. Back to the bard. Lo, in the orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, each under eye doth homage. I genuinely don't know if there is an English pronunciation of that word or if it's just homage. Homage to his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty. And having climbed the steep up heavenly hill, resembling strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still, attending on his golden pilgrimage. But when from highmost pitch with weary car, like feeble age he reeleth from the day, the eyes for duteous now converted are from his low tract and look another way. So thou, thyself outgoing in thy noon, unlooked on diest, obviously, unless thou get a son. This is so lovely, serving with looks his sacred majesty. There's some really, really beautiful imagery in here. The first quatrain of this poem reminds me of the sun, puts me in mind of the sun rising in the morning, brighter in the east, I guess. Oh, of course. So, lo, in the orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head. Surely that is the sun rising in the east. Each under eye doth homage to his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty. Perhaps every eye under him, under the sun, under this most beautiful man, I'm assuming, because this is probably a procreation sonnet, let's be honest, they all are, serving with looks his sacred majesty, so serving him by looking upon him, and he is majestic and sacred. I think the second quatrain is saying that this beautiful young man resembles his younger self, but is older now. There are some clingers on, there are still some people who are fans of his beauty, they're still attending his golden pilgrimage, so they're still worshipping him, they're still duteous, which leads into the next bit. But when from highmost pitch with weary car, like feeble age he reeleth from the day. So when this man, I keep saying man, but that's what I take this to mean, when he's peaked, when he's tired from the day, his life, the eyes for, as in F-O-R-E, duteous, now converted are from his low tract and look another way. So now that this man is aging, people can't be bothered to look at him anymore. They used to be dutiful to him, loyal to him, but now they're looking away at other things. Thyself outgoing in thy noon. I think noon is obviously youth. Thyself outgoing. Although you were popular in your youth, unlooked on diest. This is the harshest thing. You will die unobserved, alone, unless thou get a son. That's as it says. This sonnet's really beautiful and it conjures two main images for me immediately. One is a middle-aged, slightly washed-up rock star who is maybe seeing his fans trickling away and their attentions dividing towards a younger, fresher star, like a Justin Bieber type. The second image is this overwhelming epic one of a journey, perhaps a young man in a gap year going on a mountaineering trip and having a sort of religious experience. There's talk of duty and golden pilgrimage and now converted are. Despite my horrible trippings on this sonnet, I think it's actually fairly clear and simple, and it's also one of the more beautiful ones I've come across. The imagery is much more pleasant than a lot of them are, and there isn't, on first impression anyway, as much negativity or disgust or horror to be found in contrast with the pleasure, with the beauty. It also reminds me of things like the recent film, which I now can't remember the name of, A Monster Calls, in which there is some storytelling, and when the storytelling happens, we move from live action to this really gorgeous Japanese looking style animation. It kind of conjures similar imagery for me in this because of the epic nature of the quest, I guess, that's mentioned. Climbing up this steep up heavenly hill on a golden pilgrimage. That's quite elevated imagery. The majority of this sonnet is in indirect address again, a bit like sonnet number 5, and it's only the final couplet which starts with "so thou." So it's saying, like all of this that I've said, you will, or this relates to you in this way, and thou is used again in the very last line. So yeah, it's quite interesting that indirect address shifting to direct address at the very end. I think that's all I'd like to say on first impressions. It's quite a nice golden sunsetty image for me at the moment, and I kind of like to leave it that way until I do the research, do the homework and analysis. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your initial reactions to this sonnet. Tell me how to pronounce homage. And on Wednesday I will be going into a bit more depth and analysing and breaking down the meaning of this sonnet. And what with it being the bard and all, it could be quite a journey. So until then, rest you merry.